Alright everybody, Miniature Mayhem Season 2 is finally here. So here it is, it's out already, the code's on the screen. I've been working on this for a long time. I originally tried to make a trailer for it. I think the trailer would have been really good, but replay mode glitched out, messed everything up. So I gave up on that, and now there's no cinematic trailer, there's just a review video. So, of course, the most exciting changes are probably going to be the map changes, but we're going to save those for a bit and go over just a couple of other things before we get into that. Because, obviously, the map has had a huge change. It's pretty much doubled in size. So, first we're going to start pretty small things on Spawn Island now. News and patch notes are now on switches, so you just come over here and switch this and it'll show the patch notes or the news depending on which one you hit. You can read it and close it and it'll reset the lever so that you can do it again. The main reason behind this is, well, I started it because the billboard device had some weird glitch where the character limit was super small for some reason. I think that might be patched, but either way this is going to be way easier for me because across both spawn islands, high tide and low tide, there are a total of 8 different sets of signs. So before, I would have to come over and change the news and the patch notes on each different sign for every single update. It was super annoying. So now I've just got the levers, and then I can just change what they say in these dialogue devices. I just have to do it once, and it'll change it for both spawn islands, every single sign. So really, that was an update for me. So hopefully it's good. It's not annoying to read. I mean, yeah, it really isn't that much more annoying than just having it out on the sign. Then we're gonna go over the loot pool changes. There's actually quite a few. The dub shotgun was added. That's the exotic one. Added the crossbow. That's just the base normal crossbow. That's got the scope on it from season 1 of Fortnite. The scoped AR was replaced with the MK Alpha, and the burst SMG was replaced with the scoped burst SMG. Just a little buff. Nobody seemed to use the normal burst SMG, so I thought maybe if I made it a little more powerful, people would use it a little more. The tactical pistol is now replaced with the machine SMG. Slurp juices have been removed. It's kind of what happened late chapter 4. Everyone was just carrying a slurp juice. It was way too overpowered. They really need to add the OG slurp juice back, because I would definitely put that in the loot pool, but the legendary slurp juice is just way too good. Then the Midas Flopper is now in, and in crafting stations, there's a couple of changes with crafting stations. That's really all for the loot pool, except I've also added the remote abilities to the loot pool. So we'll go over what the remote abilities are right after we go over the map changes. So we'll get to the map changes right after we get to the crafting station changes, which are very minor. So the crafting stations, you can see on the mini map right there, they are now marked on the mini map, because before, literally whenever I played this with friends or on stream, I would be asked where people could find a crafting station. So now hopefully this will make it way easier. You can just come over here and use it. You can see where it is. And now, because they nerfed grenades so that they only did 40 damage, I know that it was kind of a while ago, but you know, season 2 was supposed to come out a while ago. You can now get clingers instead of grenades, because grenades kind of suck at this point. Now let's get straight into the map changes. So I probably showed it on the screen earlier, a better picture. But here's the picture again. This is what the map looks like now. All of the brown terrain, this is all of the old stuff. This is everything from season 1 is all down here. And then season 2 added all of this. So that's why I was saying the map doubled in size, because it practically did. So this is the new ancient jungle biome type thing. And there are 3 new locations. Well, they're kind of 4 and maybe even 5, if you think about it, because there are 2 locations here which depend on whether the tide is high or low, and Then bridge has been updated. It's now called Lift Bridge, and I'll show you that in a second. Let's start with the locations. Also, restaurant, the original restaurant POI has been changed to South Restaurant. No actual changes have been made to the location itself. It's just called South Restaurant because now there is a North Restaurant. So the North Restaurant is on the largest island of the jungle. This is like the main POI for the season, kind of. I mean, not really, you know, that's just kind of, I think it was the first one I made, and it's the first one I planned for. So this is John's subpar beef residence. As some of you might know, the old South Restaurant is called Ralph's high quality steakhouse. So John's subpar beef residence is the opposite of that, practically. Ralph's is a very like high bar establishment, and John's is some greasy place in the middle of the jungle. So here it is, nothing special inside. It really it's not supposed to be. The very great working quarters up on the second floor. And if you want to use the bathroom, you can absolutely do that out here. There's a sink, and there's some tall grass. So great bathrooms there. So that is North Restaurant. Now above it, you can see a new feature, are zip lines. There are only zip lines in the new jungle, which also lead, some of them go onto the mainland right here. You can see there's one from the jungle to the mainland, but they aren't really needed anywhere else because I didn't build the map with zip lines. I didn't build the map with zip lines in mind. So, and there are a lot of like bridges and gaps in the new biome, so I just thought it'd be a good thing, especially because some of the terrain goes really high. Like we have some of the tallest mountains in the game here. And there's also these ruins. They aren't named anything. There's just ruins all over the jungle. This is one of the new locations of the crafting station, by the way. There's a few new locations now. Now these bridges, something interesting is, if you guys watched the deep dive video, I think I went into it a little bit more, but this used to be called Honorary Overhang, I think. It was just like a little kind of balcony type thing that just overlooked here. It ended right about here, but it was originally supposed to be a bridge that went from here around, like through the ocean out here, and it would have ended somewhere either here or there. I don't remember. I think it was over here. I think it would have ended right here, and it was just supposed to be a waste of time. So you can see there are some remnants of it over here. These are from season 1, but the bridge has finally sort of like come to light. It's actually working as a bridge now, but it's not just one bridge. These are all over the place, all the same style of bridge, everywhere around all the new locations this season. All right, let's move on to the next location, which is the ruins. There's another crafting station up here, and this is the location. Ruins is some kind of old brick structure with a large tree that's grown in the middle. I think that this is like very fun for combat. Like there's all sorts of like dynamic movements that you can do to while you're fighting people. When I was testing with my friends, we had a very good time on ruins. You'll also see that there are no building signs on the bridge. There wasn't much I can do about this because the bridges are off grid, but you just can't build on them. So that's unfortunate. So I'm sorry about that, but you just can't build on them. Now we're gonna move on to the last new location in the jungle, which is either pond or raft, depending on whether the tide is high or low. If it's low, it'll be pond, and you can see pretty much what that would look like right here. And then when the tide is high, it's pretty much just like this chunk of land around the outside, and then it will be a raft in the middle, obviously. But the interesting thing about the rafts are that there are 3 possible rafts that you can get, and every single game that the tide is high, it will select a raft randomly. So when you're landing at raft, you'll never know exactly what you're gonna get. They're all the same kind of style. Here, I can find where they are, I think. Here they are. Okay, here they are. So this is the first raft. Pretty simple. Then this one is the second raft. You see it's got like this part is separated. And then this is the largest raft for sure. It's kind of like in an H shape. You can't really see it, but the bottom part is in an H shape. And then it goes up high. And the other rafts also go up this high. It's just that each floor on this one is pretty significant. So that's what makes it quite a bit larger than the others. So that's it for named locations, but we've got some other areas. This is like the middle island. It's got a bunch of pillars on it from the ruins. We've got this area with a couple of pretty tiny islands coming off the edge here, and this one's, it comes pretty close to Gorge here, so you can easily swim between them now. Like before, this just was at the edge into the ocean, but now there's actually something over here to go to. Yeah, if the tide is high, pretty much this whole island disappears, and it's just this part. So the bridge comes over, lands here, but it doesn't really lead to anything after that. So that is it for the jungle biome itself. Let's move on to the lift bridge over here. It used to just be a wooden bridge that was called bridge, but now the bridge is modeled after a real life lift bridge, where pretty much so when the tide goes high, the bridge the whole thing just moves vertically upward along these strings. So that's pretty much it. I think it's kind of fun on here, and when the tide is high, you're gonna have to build up to it if you're gonna want to cross, so that's a little bit interesting. It's harder to cross between the two if the tide is high, I guess. I mean, when the tide is high, though, you can just also kind of swim, so it's a little bit easier in that way, but it's harder in other ways. So it's interesting. That is it for map changes, I believe. I was just editing, and I just realized I completely forgot to go over the remote abilities, which are a pretty big feature. So I'm just inserting this right after we go over the map changes, I think, and I'll show you. Right now there's gray through purple, and I'll go over why there isn't a gold in a second. So here I have all 4 of the remotes. You can find these in the loot pool. They're in place of weapons, so I'm pretty sure they have the same rarity of weapons. So the gray one you'll find more than the purple one. And I didn't want to put them in consumables because there are not nearly as many consumables, so you would find them way more often than I would want you to. So this goes along with the 2 melee items as sort of like unique weapons and items that you can find in miniature Mayhem. So if you alt click or right click or left trigger with the remote, it'll tell you what it does. The problem with this is that it also starts the cooldown. There's not really a way to turn this off, so it's kind of annoying. But I'm going to show you the description of each one so that you know in game, and after that I'll get into why there is no gold remote. Alright, so here you can see gray remote ability. It gives you a little boost, so that's pretty simple. You use it and it leaps you forward. The green one increases HP by 2 every second for 25 seconds. So that is pretty simple as well. They get more complicated as they go up. So next, blue increases HP by 7 for 10 seconds, but cuts speed in half. So this one, you use it and you're getting healed, but then you're slowed. And the purple one, the final one, increases damage dealt by 1.25 times, while damaging you 3 HP a second for 10 seconds, then slowly healing that back over the next 30 seconds. That's kind of complicated, but pretty much, so you get a damage boost, and you start losing health for 10 seconds. But then after those 10 seconds are over, for the next 30 seconds, you will gain all of that health back. So in the long run, you don't actually lose that health. So this one kind of has a bit of a trade-off. Now I'll show you each one too. And you can see over here, here's the lifted bridge. That's what it looks like when it's lifted. So the gray ability, use it, and just like that, it gives you a little boost. It's very simple and a really short cooldown. And this one, I'm getting healed. Also very simple. Right, so then, so the blue one, I use it, and yeah, now I'm healing a lot, but I'm also moving quite slow. And then the purple one, you can see I'm taking damage, but I can, it doesn't really work out the build. So I can't really showcase it, but I do extra damage. And then, now that's over. After that's over, it's supposed to heal you back. I wasn't the one who set up these remotes, so I'm gonna have to check that out, and I'll drop a patch in the next update for sure. I'll just make a quick patch. It won't count as an actual update to fix that. But it's supposed to then heal you all that back health just over a longer period of time. The gold remote, it was supposed to be kind of a big mystery in the trailer. So like you'd see it get used a little bit in the trailer, but it wasn't. It's not supposed to come out at the very start of the season. You'll have to wait till next update when it releases. So yeah, that's why it's not a thing. It's going to be the most powerful and also coolest one of them all. It's going to be the most unique. And it'll have an effect on the whole game after that. Next update is going to be sick when I add that, like, gameplay is going to be changed drastically. The last change, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it doesn't actually really matter that much. I mean, it was kind of annoying that before the spawn island used to take 50 seconds to go through. Now, I thought this would be good because there's a lot of words to read over here, but, like, you can read them match to match, you know, one section at a time, because with 50 seconds on the clock, if you had played the map before, you were pretty much just wasting all that time. So now it's only 30 seconds, which should be a good balance, I think. It doesn't feel nearly as long anymore. I'm hoping to get a couple more videos. I'm thinking about making a deep dive, because you guys seem to enjoy the deep dive of how I made Season 1. And then I also really want to try and get a bunch of other people in to play the map in one big video. So if you have any other, like, Fortnite creative YouTubers that you like, that you want to see in the video playing, you know, comment that. I can try and reach out, see if they want to play the map for the video, and I think that'd be a blast. So thank you all for watching. I also just want to say, like, the support on the channel has actually been, okay, people say this all the time, I don't want to sound like too cliche, but it's just been so good recently. Like, we're almost at 700 subscribers already, and it's been like less than a couple months since we hit 500. It's been like 100 subs a month, I think, for the past little while here. And one of my videos just hit 10,000 views, which was pretty nice, I would say. And the whole channel has around 90,000 views total on it. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Please play the map. I did put a lot of time into this, and I think you'll have a lot of fun. And also, if you play the map and someone else looks at it and sees that there are people playing it, they're more likely to then decide to play it. And then it's kind of like a snowball effect, where now there are actually full lobbies. It's so much more fun if there are full lobbies on a map. So, like, if you're thinking, like, oh, I would play it if there were people online, well, if you just played it, then there would be people online, you know? So, yeah. I should come up with the catchphrase, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.